All right. Hey there, everybody. How we doing? My name is Brandon. Happy Memorial Day. Welcome back to another banger. Subcategories for today are going to be information and wealth creation. We got a very special guest with us today, Mr. Jarvis Witherspoon, amazing realtor based out of Arizona. How you doing today, Mr. Jarvis?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you? Thank you for having me on.
My pleasure. My pleasure. All right. So today's going to be a very special video. We're going to be discussing VA loans. I know myself as an Army veteran, they tend to leave us a little bit high and dry as to the information that they give on us. So hopefully I'm gonna pick your brain a little bit, ask you a few questions, see what we can do to serve our veterans who may be in a similar situation. All right, that sounds good to you?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
All right, all right. So the first question that I got for you, man, is can you explain the specific benefits of a VA loan compared to other types of home loans, particularly for first-time home buyers?
Okay, so you got three types of government approved loans. Government approved loans are loans that's backed by the government. So they're your best loans that's out there because as we know, government don't run the money.
Mm.
So VA loans in particular, they have no down payment, no PMI, little to no cost, it's backed by the government. Depending on your disability rank, there's no funding fee, um, and there's no limits.
No limits. What do you mean by that?
So they used to have limits. I think back in 2019, they stopped that. So there's no limits. Like you can borrow as much money as you need.
So I could do my VA loan on a Drake mansion if I needed to, right? if
If
you got the credit to back it up and all
yeah,
that.
exactly. If you qualify, then you can do that, man, because
Okay.
there's no limits. There's no limits.
That's valuable information. See, some people who might have access to a little bit more funding, but don't want to have to put hundreds of $1,000s down on the house, but they got the VA loan could really save them some time. You know what I mean?
Right. And first time home buyers, normally you only use it one time for your first time buying a home.
Mm,
Um, in different occasions or scenarios, you might be able to use it after 3 years or so, but
right.
you got to have not had a home for at least 3 years
Right.
before they give you a first time home buyers program.
Right.
Right.
So dive into a little bit on that a little bit more. So you're saying that the VA loan is something that you can use repeatedly.
Over and over and over.
Okay, okay. But you have to have a 3 year span in between.
No, FHA is the one that needs, first time home buyers is the
Oh,
one that you basically have to not have had a home for at least 3 years
mm,
before you can be even considered to use a first time home buyers program,
gotcha.
right? So you can't be living in a house right now that you
Mm,
use a first time home buyer program for, and then a year later get another home with the first time home buyer. You need
right.
a 3 year span of not actually owning a home before
Mm,
you can use your first time home buyers program again.
mm,
So normally you only use it one time, right? I'm giving you extra information, but normally most cases you're only going to use that first time home buyers program
mm,
one time. Now for the VA, like I said, is limitless. So
mm.
you can use it once, but you have to be living in that home. So you can't use it on two different homes because you can only live in one home, right? So if
Primary.
I'm and then there's like and I can go into more depth later on. Maybe we'll do another,
We could definitely follow
useful,
up. We get the time.
right, right. But so in my case, I used a VA loan. My first home I bought. Then I had to wait 2 years, or I don't know, I had to wait till I get someone to take over that loan before I can buy another house with a VA loan.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
You
that
know what I'm
makes
saying? So I had to have tenants or
mm,
someone in there that can say, okay, I'm taking over this loan. Now I'm free to go get a new home
right.
that I'm living in because I don't have that home anymore.
Okay,
I have tenants in it. It's no longer my primary residence. So
okay,
it has to be a primary residence for you to use the VA loan.
okay. So to caveat off,
Keep in mind, I'm a real estate agent, right? So I'm not a lender, I'm not a broker, but this is knowledge that I've gained through the process, right?
and
So
that's that only puts you ahead of the game as far as what you do by having the excess knowledge. Now, so what I wanted to caveat using some of the information that I have just to see if it verifies along with what you're saying. So I know that when you first use your VA loan for your first time home buyer, you have to list the home as your primary residence. But you said that carrying on once you have somebody to move in, whether it be tenants or whatever have you, then it becomes their primary residence, and then you're no longer attached, correct?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay,
That's what
okay,
I did right now. Literally, I bought my first house 2021 VA loan. I got tenants in it. And once I got tenants in it, you have to find a lender that will work this out for you. I had tenants in it, then I bought on a secondary home with my VA loan process.
okay.
But secondary, but primary.
Okay, okay, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. I like that a lot. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move into our second question. All right.
Okay.
So, obviously, it seems that you're very familiar with the VA loan process. Can you share some examples of how you've assisted other veterans in securing a VA loan? I know that you said you're in the process of doing that now. So, just dive into that a little bit.
So I've helped plenty of people with the VA loan, with the loan process, with just understanding what their benefits are. A lot of people don't even understand what they have access to. So sometimes I'm just helping people just by talking to them.
Mm,
I can go on and on about how many people I help, different scenarios, but I'll just talk about the scenario that I'm in now because it's
mm,
currently fresh on my mind.
okay,
I have two veterans that are
mm.
trying to buy a home. They're not married yet, but they're, what is it?
Engaged.
Engaged.
Okay, they're trying to like jointly apply for the home together.
No, they can't do that. And that's where the issue comes in. And that's where having me helps, right? Because you can't use a VA loan unless you're married. You
Yeah,
can't have a co-borrower on the loan unless you're married
right.
to that person for a
Mhm.
VA loan. So they're not married, so they can't use both people's credit or debt to income on the loan process, right? So
That would be
right
too
now, right?
I said that would be too beneficial. Of course
Yeah,
not.
no, no, they're not gonna let that happen.
Right.
So right now, I got a situation where the hubby, the soon to be hubby, he has the VA loan. He's trying to find a property, and he has alimony on his debt to income.
Mhm.
So alimony is like 1,500 a month. So that brings his debt down, right? I mean, debt up, income down. So it made the price of home that we can purchase lower.
Right.
So the options for him is to lower the purchase price that he's expecting to buy the house for, or get married. Now, if he goes ahead and get married, then that's a different exception. But right now, we're in the process of actually getting him a VA loan with just his name on the actual loan. So it's a lot of key points in there, right? People think that, oh, okay, I can get a co-borrower because most other loans you can get a co-borrower on them as long as they're staying in the home. Well,
Right.
VA loan is different, right? If they're not married at all, you can't put them on the loan process.
Mm.
Credit is involved, so I help people with their credit get it above 580. 580 and above is normally where we're sitting at for
Wow.
um, to use the VA loan, right? It's
That's a
more
lot.
flexible. So and then also you can't really use a VA loan for investment properties like normal people would use it for.
Right.
Say for instance, you want to fix and flip. If you're fixing and flipping, it's a distressed property.
Mm.
Um, because you got to fix it. Like normally, you're not going to fix something that's not broke. So if it's a distressed property, you're going to have to fix it. VA loans don't do that. It has to be ready. Appraisal process has to go through properly before they can consider letting you use the VA loan.
Okay.
So back to your question, how have I helped people? Well, I know the process. So I know that we need a certificate of eligibility before we should even get started. You got
Okay.
to go to My Healthy Vet, log in, get a COE. Once you get a COE, I think one of your questions, I think, I don't know if I can go into it right now, but one of the process basically is COE, get pre-approval, and then once you get your pre-approval letter, now we're looking for a home. So
Okay.
that whole process, I'm helping you with. I'm helping you get your COE, and then I'm helping you get pre-approved by telling you, okay, you need your W-2s, you need pay stubs, you need history of employment, you
I
need
did
all.
this.
Right. So having all that prepared ahead of time pushes you up 10 times in the game, right? Because it's a tough market. So if you're looking to buy, you need to have your ducks in a row before we go out there and try to find something that you can't even afford or qualify for yet. So getting all that paperwork together, understanding what the COE is, where to get it from, and also understanding who and can be on your loan application, right? So having all that information, that's how I help my clients. Because a lot of times they're, going in circles trying to figure out what do I need to have before I can even get a VA loan. Well, I already know what you need to get. I know where to go to get it, and I have lenders that are that love using VAs, right? I have lenders that that use VA loans all the time, and I have them in my back pocket. I have a relationship with them, so they know if I send a client to them, their paperwork is ready to go, and they're going to push them above the next person that doesn't have their paperwork together, right? So
And
me
another
being
thing that I noticed, if you don't mind me carrying off what you're saying, is a lot of people, like when you get all that stuff together, people don't actually know how much that they can afford. They have this general budgeting idea in their mind, but as you say, you can have underlying debt that may affect that, or even better, your credit might be better than you think it is, and you might qualify for more than you originally assumed, which is always a blessing. But you have to have the information first. I mean, you gotta have all your ducks in a line. The paperwork has to be ready to go. Otherwise, you're gonna be, you know, confused, right?
right and understanding credit, like I
Mm.
know that credit card history, utilization, things that affect your FICO score, right? If you come
Heavily.
to me and you got a 600 credit score, yeah, we can get you in the house.
Mm.
Um, or let's say 550. We'll stay at 600. We can get you in the house, but I look at your credit history. We can go look at your FICO score, and we can find out, oh, you're using 30% of your credit card usage. Let's find out which credit card we can pay off so we can bring that usage down. If we bring that usage down, that gives us more opportunity to add to your purchase price that you can buy because your credit score is going to go up, right? So
Right.
having that knowledge to be able to look at someone's portfolio or their money
Mm.
process and what they have, what they don't have, and tell them what they need to do or work on, right?
Right.
Um, Not just me, I have a team, right? So I have tax preppers, I have um, credit builder people that can help you with that as well. So
Mm.
that all that comes with me. Like when you work with me or
You
you
get
work
the
with
whole
me,
enchilada. Okay.
you got the whole nine.
Okay, okay, I like that. So man, I had something that I wanted to ask you about that. Oh, is there anything that the lenders look for in specific regarding your credit report that may uh help or not help your situation when looking for a home in specific? I know, lenders are going to pull your card for your report for when you buy a car, when you buying a house, or whatever the case may be, uh, or even just applying for a new credit card, right? But is there anything that's more specific towards home buying that a lender may be looking for, that so that the people can keep their eye out on? Or is it really just the same all across the board?
FICO score is a FICO score.
Right.
Um, there's not really much that they're going to look for that they're not going to look for any other loan, right? Most loans, most loans, unless you're doing a hard money loan, and that's investment, right? So most loans come government approved loans, which is FHA, USDA, VA,
Mm.
government backed loans. They're going to basically use the same criteria. VA is a little more like, okay, when you get to the appraisal process, that's when it gets a little difficult, right? Because now the appraisal process for a VA loan is more stringent, more critiqued, is more precise, right? So stuff like that. But as far as your credit, 580 and above, you're good. And if you got some weird stuff on there where, like this guy now, he has alimony, but that's not to do with credit, but those are the type of things that can affect you, the
Yes.
amount of money that you get, but
Your
you
debt to
still,
income ratio is
right,
huge.
right.
Yeah.
You still
Okay.
qualify for 580 and above.
All right. So I don't know if we got enough time for all these questions, but I do want to jump into one more before we close out. And you already kind of touched on it a little bit, but I think it's an area that can be definitely broadened out a little bit. I know a lot of people have already underlying challenges that they face that they know about that may be hindering them from even coming to you in the first place, right? So what
Okay.
are some common challenges veterans face when using a VA loan, and how do you help your clients, or how can a realtor in general help their navigate those issues, right?
So you have the main thing that messes people up is finding a home that appraisals will approve.
Mm.
You have to have a VA appraised lender, or lender has VA appraisers that will go out and appraise the property.
Got
So, and with appraisers, they're looking at everything: stability, gas, plumbing, electrical, structural, heating,
it. Mm.
air, everything. That's how appraisers look at it, right? So before we even go get an appraiser, if you're looking at a house that I know doesn't meet these standards, HVAC systems, all that, then we're
Mm.
not even going to go waste our time, right?
Right.
Um, so things like that. Um, and those are called, I think, MPR, minimum property requirements. What
Okay.
else? What else? We've already just talked about credit fees. So you have like what closing costs. So
Oh,
it's ways that you can, defer your closing costs. It's ways that you can roll it over into your finance, to your loan. And if you're a disabled veteran, 10% and up, you don't have to pay what is it? Appraisal fee. I think a funding fee. You don't have to pay. You don't have to pay a funding fee if you have any type of disability, 10% and up. A funding fee is like 2% to 3% of the purchase loan cost. And that's with any loan, right? So understanding, like, if you came to me right now, you say, "Oh, I'm gonna ask you, do you have a disability rate?" If you do, then there's certain things you qualify for that other veterans don't, right? You don't have to pay a funding fee. Um, and most of the time, closing costs are covered, and you have lower interest rates. No mortgage insurance, no what else? No down payment. So it's so many things that you qualify for by using a VA loan that you I bought my first house with no money down.
whew. A lot of people can't say that, man. They over here, man, I'm trying to get 10, $20,000 together so I can go buy this house. No, man, like there, and even for a lot of people who aren't veterans, there are other options that you can utilize to get yourself into a home a lot faster,
Oh
right?
yeah,
But it
it
looks
can,
like we're running kind of short on time here, big dog. So I'm gonna have to
yeah.
wrap it up. All right. Last thing I want to do is, what advice do you have for veterans to ensure that they get the best possible deal when using their VA loan, especially in today's real estate market? And besides getting you, obviously, because I know that's that's gonna get you a great deal, man. I'll probably hit you up before I get my first house, right? But
It's all good. It's all good. Of course, get your realtor. If it's not me, get someone that has experience so they know what to do, how to do it. Know what your goal is. So if you're going in it looking to invest, go get a duplex.
yeah,
You don't have to get a single family. You can get a duplex, triplex with a VA loan, rent out two of the other units, and pay the whole mortgage.
I'm already on it. I'm on it.
Just understanding those simple things can help you enter the real estate game with the edge, right? Because you can, like I said, you can get a
With no
duplex
money down.
and no money down, right? And
Right.
you're not paying no mortgage because you
Exactly.
got two people in the duplex or the triplex.
Mhm.
So understanding that, that'll be the main thing. Understanding what your goal is before you go buy this home. Is it going to be something that is going to turn into investment property, or is it going to be something you're living in forever, right? That's going to determine how you attack the situation, right? Um, so that's what I would say. Know what you're trying to do. For me, I knew I wanted to. I went into it trying to get a home for my family, but once I got it and understood, oh, if I get tenants, I can buy a whole nother house. Let me
Mhm.
get some tenants,
Yes, sir.
right? So.
Right. Well, I really appreciate that you taking time out of your day to do this for us. God bless you, Mr. Jarvis. Is there anything that you want to add before we close off?
I took some notes. Let me clarify. Currencies, credit, income. Make sure you have 2 years of continuous employment, no gaps. Um, no property. Not all properties are eligible, so don't get
So,
no.
ooh, then that arises a question then. So, for somebody who just recently got out of the military, now has access to the VA loan, you said that they have to have 2 years of solid employment.
Continuous employment, and having and working for the military, you're good, right? But you can't get out and go 2 years with no employment
Mm,
and you don't have anything. Like you're gonna have to have 2 years of continuous employment before the VA will approve you, and
okay.
That's bottom line. I had to wait 2 years. When I got out, I went to school. And sometimes the GI Bill can be used for income, right?
Mhm.
But see, that's when this next episode come in, understanding creativity, right? Having to be able to create a creative goal, creative loan process. Okay, you might went straight into college using the GI Bill. Well, you did get money. Can we use that for income, right? Is ways to do certain things. So that's a whole nother conversation.
I agree.
But
And I'm looking forward to that one. Hopefully, I can be a part of that one as well. But I really appreciate your time. God bless you, sir. And we're going to have to wrap it up. Thank you to all the viewers out there. Please take the time, like, comment, subscribe. I'll link some links and anything that I can use to associate myself with Mr. Jarvis so you can get with him, get all the information that you need, and get yourself into a nice, beautiful home in the best way possible. All right.
oh
God
yeah,
bless. And y'all take care now.
all right.